Okay. So she's going to send it live.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living Meditation. My name is Janelle Carroll and I am a religious science practitioner here at the center, and I'm grateful to be here with you this morning in meditation. I invite you wherever you are. You know what to do. You know what to do. You came here to quiet down that voice inside, to put that story on pause, that story of your life, that voice that talks in your head. Put it on pause for a few minutes and join us. Deep within, in that space where the still small voice speaks. Breathing in and breathing out, finding that perfect space of rhythm. Your own perfect breath, spirit breathing as you. This morning I invite you to contemplate, if you will, imagination. As I think about imagination, I remember the John Lennon quote, reality leaves a lot to the imagination. My experience right now with life, sometimes it feels reality leaves a lot to the imagination. But what an opportunity then for us. I mean, we stand here in the shadow of pure intelligence, surrounded by creative medium that is infinite, limitless. Ernest Holmes says, life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. What an opportunity. Open your imagination. Let it rise. Let it show up big. Sometimes we consider imagination and creativity to be the realm of the artist. But the truth is, it's the realm of us all. It is inspiration. Inspiration in a flash of definitive knowing. It is that fire from heaven. And so in this moment, I recognize for those of you out there that might be more logical thinkers, the medium of expression of spirit is infinite. Imagination may come as music. It may come as a crayon drawing of a child. Or the medium of expression might be logical thinking instead of marble or paint. This morning I invite you to cultivate that imagination. Let it grow big within you. As a preschool teacher, when I think of imagination, I immediately go to Dr. Seuss. Creative imagination. Oh, the thinks you can think. If only you try. Think left and think right, think low and think high. Oh, the thinks you can think of if only you try. Think left and think right and think low and think high. Oh, the things you can think of if only you try. This morning I invite you to try. As we move into the wordless part of our meditation, guided by the music, I invite you to allow that infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination to rise up within you. And oh, the things you will think up if only you try. I urge you to try. Expand that imagination out into that infinite intelligence, the creative medium, the inspiration. Make a list of all the greatness that you imagine. Do not make it brief. Write down every single thing that you want. And do not sell yourself short. Use that imagination. Oh, the things you can think up if only you try. Try now. Infinite energy. Infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. We believe that our reality is the effect of our own thoughts, our own imagination. And we stand here in that shadow of pure intelligence, that creative mind expressing through us, in us, as all that we see, know, and experience. Life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. What will you create? Oh, the things you can think. I thank you for taking this time to explore your imagination this morning. And I encourage you to continue to play. Play with spirit, play with that medium, play with that mode of expression. It is limitless, it is infinite, and it is waiting for you to think up the things that you think. I thank you for joining me this morning in meditation. I invite you again to become aware of your surroundings, your body, your feet, your breath, bringing you back to this moment, to this space, and to this place, wherever that is for you. Namaste.
Good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Julie Matheson. I'm a practitioner here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm happy to be sharing today's announcements with you. Due to the current pandemic, everyone is invited to the Zoom Sunday celebration, and our services will be live streamed to our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. We'll post it later to our Facebook page. Please feel free to share our service from our YouTube channel on your own Facebook page. Everyone is invited to attend a workshop next Sunday, November 1st, from 12 to 2 p.m. via Zoom, called Prosperity Upgrade, an experiential workshop. The Zoom link can be found in your CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter and on our CCSL Facebook page, or you can contact Robin at our office. This workshop is presented by the CCSL Prosperity Corps, which is Reverend Gregory Toole, Kristen Pierce, Carisa Holmes, and me, Julie Matheson, and no pre-registration is required. And you guys, this is going to be a great workshop. We've been planning it, we've been preparing, and it's going to be experiential, and it's going to be great. Hope you'll join us for that. This is the last week to register for the Spiritual Principles and Practices class. This will be an online certificated class with Reverend Amy Papadoupoulos and Reverend Gregory Toole. It will begin on Saturday, October 31st, so next Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and it's a 5-week class. The investment is $200, and that will include a workbook, a certificate from CSL Home Office, and counts toward practitioner training prerequisites. Payment plans and partial scholarships are available. So to register, contact Robin Brookhouse at robin@spirituallivingcolumbus.org. Our next Open Hearts Open Mic event will take place on Friday, November 13th via Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m. A Zoom link will be available in an upcoming CCSL weekly e-newsletter. If you'd like to showcase your talents at the show, contact Jim Hetzer at J.A. Hetzer, that's initial J, initial A, Hetzer, at sbcglobal.net to be added to the lineup. Join us for our next virtual choir project. All you need is a smartphone and the willingness to sing. We will take care of the technical stuff. Everyone is welcome to participate, whether you're in the choir or not. The music team is looking forward to co-creating something special with you. Contact Carisa Holmes at carisacreates.com if interested. That's CARISA at carisacreates.com. The 2021 spiritual journals are now available for purchase. The journal is just $14.95 plus shipping and handling. To order your journal, go to csl.org, and at the top of the homepage, click on shop, and you'll be directed to make your purchase. I have purchased mine, and it was super easy. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. We know that. Are you tired of not seeing your friends and family in person? Help us share shining smiles, sparkling eyes in the community's face, mask or no mask, your choice, in our Sunday celebration. We are collecting pictures of CCSL community members, supporters, new visitors, guests, and friends, you name it, to share in our virtual Sunday service. Let us see you. Please send us a picture of yourself and what you're up to in these unique times. Show us your favorite mask, your pets, your garden, your COVID project, what you're doing, whatever you want to share. We'd love to see you. Send your pictures to Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org. That's Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org, so we can share the faces of God in our virtual Sunday celebration. And lastly, if you would like prayer after service or anytime throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website at columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our website. That is it. That's everything for today. That's the news. Let's all sing our opening song.
Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself. shine that light. Speak your mind, show them who you really are. Show them you're a shining star of brilliant light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Open up and be yourself and shine that light. Open up and free yourself and shine that light.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so nice to see you all this morning. We're doing things a little different here today. We are not only live streaming to YouTube, but we have invited some of our, we've invited anyone who would like to join us on Zoom. So it's so nice to see all of your faces, or at least your screens, your names on your screens here with us this morning. My name is Reverend Amy Papadoupolo, and it is my honor and my privilege to say good morning to everyone this morning. Here at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, we are an inclusive organization. No matter where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here in our community. Thank you for joining us this morning, whether you're joining us on Zoom or if you're on our YouTube channel. I looked over at our YouTube channel. We have a couple people over there. We have some people joining us on Zoom this morning, and it really feels like a connected community. If you would still like to join our YouTube channel, you can do that. If you do, please remember to give it a thumbs up and ring the bell. Also, a recording of today's service will be posted to our YouTube channel after service. So now, would you please say our mission statement along with me? We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using the science of mind principles as our compass. And I'd like to thank our practitioner, Janelle Carroll, this morning for that beautiful meditation. And thank you, Tony Bonardi, for supplying our music. Also, Janelle is holding virtual high watch for our service today. That's just a state of consciousness that supports all of us to really embody and take in the message and the music today. Now, I'd like to reintroduce our practitioner of the day, Julie Matheson, who will be assisting. Julie?
Hi there, I am here. We'd now like to begin our sacred service with the ringing of our bowl. And now I would like to introduce our community member, Tony Bonardi, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Tony?
A reading from Ernest Holmes. Life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. It is the invisible essence and substance of every visible form. True imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is fire from heaven.
And now let's let the music take us within.
Light of hope, it lives within me evermore. The light of hope, it lives within me. The light of hope, it lives within. The light of hope, it lives. The light of hope. The light of hope, it lives within me evermore. The light of hope, it lives within me. The light of hope, it lives within. The light of hope, it lives. The light of hope. The light. Though I walk in darkness, shadows all around, may I be the place where it will be. It's me. The light of hope, it lives within me evermore, evermore, evermore. The light of hope, it lives within me. Yeah. The light of hope, it lives within. The light of hope, it lives. The light of hope. The light. The
Now, please join me in an affirmative prayer for our service today. You can close your eyes if you wish, take a deep breath. And I just recognize the abundant nature of spirit, the abundant nature of the universe, the give and receive dynamic that is always present everywhere. That there is so much abundance and good and truth all around us and within us all the time. It is pure love, pure joy, pure ease and grace. It is wholeness, it is perfection, it is complete, and it is here right now in this service. I know I am one with this abundant nature of universal goodness. The purity, the love, the joy, the ease, the grace is in the one spirit. It is in me, and it is in each person here. It is in each person everywhere, always. There's nothing in me nor anyone here that is separate from this divine spirit. We are one. I now call forth the highest expression of good in this service. I know this service is blessed. I know that whatever we came here to get here today, we receive it and more some. We receive it and more some, or whatever is for our highest good. I claim open hearts, open minds. We are a new thought community, and we're here to have a new thought. And I love what Janelle said this morning about Dr. Seuss, inspiring us to think left and think right and think low and think high. And just think something new. I'm grateful for today's message. I'm grateful for everything is said. I know the music is blessed. I know every word is blessed and wrapped in love. And I release this prayer into the divine love and light of this creative medium that we call divine reciprocity. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
I walk in darkness, shadows all around. May I be the place where it will be. It's me. Light of hope, it lives within me, evermore, evermore, evermore. Light of hope, it lives within me. Light of hope, it lives within. The light of hope, it lives. The light of hope. The light.
When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see everything that is worth seeing. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see all the joy that you are feeling. When you're watching everything go by, from the earth up to the highest sky, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God. And when you're knowing with the mind of God, you will know everything that is worth knowing. When you're flowing with the stream of God, it will show you the way your life is going. When you're living every single day in the way that you have learned how to pray, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God. When you're loving with the heart of God, you will feel all the joy of your existence. When you're loving from the start with God, you will know that it's the path of least resistance. When you open up your heart and say, I can see that love is truly the way, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see it will be ecstasy. When you're looking through the eyes of God.
Thank you, Ralph. I love your lyrics. I know I always say that, but I love your lyrics. They're so fun. Hi, I'm Julie Matheson, and I serve on the Prosperity Corps. And as you know, we are in the middle of a pledge drive to support CCSL financially. And I'm sure you've been receiving letters from us. And if you haven't yet, you will, and a pledge card. And I just wanted to share a little bit about why my husband Jim and I give to Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, and just one of the many reasons that we give. Have you ever seen those posters? They say, how to create community, and they give you all these suggestions of how to create community. They say things like, if you want to create community, plant a garden or join a co-op or hire a neighborhood kid to do odd jobs. And then there's this one line that says, shop regularly at your favorite store to ensure it will always be there. The point is, as we understand it, if we want some special place to be there for us, then we need to support it too, so that it can support us. It really goes both ways. Whether it's a store or a spiritual community, or if we don't support it, it can't be there to support us. So we give to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living because this is our favorite source of spiritual nourishment, and we want it to be here for us in the future, and that's why we give. I just want to say thanks, you guys. Thanks, CCSL, for being our spiritual community. Thanks for being that for us, and thank you all for letting me share this message with you.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Ralph. For those of you who don't already know me, I am Carissa Holmes, and I am a member of the music team and the Prosperity Corps here at Columbus CSL. And I'd like to share with you quickly our mission statement. So Robin, if you would, that slide, please. Our mission is to hold space, spark ideas, and offer strategies and programs for the expanding prosperity of Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, its members, and friends. We fully embody the consciousness of abundance in our daily lives. We are a prosperous and sustainable community that joyfully serves as a model for other spiritual organizations who are seeking growth. Thank you for that. And it is also my great pleasure to speak with you today about creativity and how it helps us to trust in the abundance of the universe and our own access to prosperity. As many of you know, creativity is an integral part of who I am. It's my jam. I was born in Dayton, Ohio, and Dayton is a place that I believe is a powerful vortex for creative energy and the arts. Dayton was just kind of this little small industrial town when I came to the planet, but it had all these resources around the arts. We had the Dayton Art Institute, which is one of the greatest art museums in the Midwest. We had Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, Dayton Ballet, Dayton Opera, Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra. I went to a junior high school music magnet. I went to a high school for the arts. It was free. It was a public school. There's this arts district called the Oregon District downtown where you have live music and just art and artists everywhere. And I grew up thinking that that was normal, that every town was like that. I didn't realize that Dayton was this kind of special creative place. And I believe that I chose to be born there so that I could be immersed in that energy, so that I could become who I meant to be when I came here. So, a little bit about me, let's just dive in. I believe that at a socioeconomic level, humanity is moving from the information age into the transformation age. With the advent of the internet and digitized books and media and all the things that we have, we're just inundated with information. We're literally in information overload at this point. And people are beginning to turn from seeking more facts, and we're moving into how can we use what we've learned to actually experience transformation in our lives, to have that transformational experience. And similarly, in a more esoteric way, we're moving from the philosophical age into an embodiment age. All the great minds and the great thinkers and the Ernest Holmeses of the past have expanded our capacity to think, to conceive. And so we're moving from this sense that consciousness is not just about what you think, but it's about what you embody. And the word gnosis It's a really good word to kind of describe where we're moving in this transitional time. It's a common Greek noun that means knowledge, but it's not so much facts knowledge, it's experiential knowledge, it's embodied knowledge. And in Gnosticism, this was outlined by four pillars: philosophy, science, mysticism, and art. They recognized at that time that creativity and the mysteries were a part of being a balanced and harmonious human being. And I believe that's where we're headed right now. So as we move into this era, we're learning how to fully inhabit this really expansive space that the great thinkers and the philosophers have created in our collective consciousness. How do we inhabit that? How do we grow into that? And so we're drawn to these tools that help us to embody the knowledge, and tools that can help us trust our access to abundance and prosperity for ourselves and for the whole world. And so before we move forward, let's define abundance and prosperity. They're sometimes used interchangeably, and they're really not interchangeable words. Abundance is the plentifulness of a thing, anything, even lack. You can have an abundance of broke people around. But prosperity calls us to be a little more specific. Prosperity says we're being more specific about what we have an abundance of. And we define prosperity as freedom to fully live and express our unique gifts. And that includes being resourced financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. Holistic resource. That's what we believe prosperity to be. And that, of course, includes cash money that we all focus on so much. So naturally, in order for us to believe in prosperity, we have to first know abundance as truth. That's where it's coming from. And in this community, we know us. In our conscious minds, we know the universe is infinitely abundant. We know prosperity is our birthright. We know we were born into the unending life of the consciousness of God. We know these things. We move in the physical, but we're not of the physical. This is just where the portal opens. So if we know these things in our head, why do we still experience lack? Why is it easy to think about the concept of an infinitely abundant universe, but it seems so much harder to trust in it enough that prosperity is actually made manifest in our lives? And I believe that it's all about access. We unintentionally deny ourselves access to all of this infinite abundance. You see, one of the sticking points in getting what we consciously think and believe to manifest is unconscious opposition. And this can be unconscious desires that we don't realize we have that are influencing us away from the things that we want. It can be programming and conditioning that we picked up in our youth. Blame your parents. And even the collective consciousness of all humans and this planet and everything on it can influence us away from what we're trying to manifest. So essentially, if there's a conflict between what your conscious mind wants and believes and thinks and what your unconscious mind is programmed to receive, unconscious wins. Game over. Carl Jung said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. That is how certain it feels. That's how out of control we can feel when our unconscious is opposing us. And just in case you were wondering if you have any of this internal conflict, you do. It's human, it's a part of the human experience, and it's not a failing. It's not something to be ashamed of. Part of us wanted to come here and live a story that allowed us to experience being held away from our magnificence. And layer by layer, peeling away the illusions and the delusions and the lies and the blinders and the veils until finally we get to that moment where we see truth and we experience complete alignment with Source. Once more, we remember. We came here on purpose to experience this, and it is good. So, even knowing that we meant to come here to have a human experience and to experience all these things, why is some part of us so attached to anything that reinforces separation and lack when it just seems to cause nothing but pain and trouble. Why are we so attached to this? Well, our egos use this stuff to build themselves up and convince themselves they're real and to trick us into thinking that the ego is the center of our experience, of our life, when it is not. In an infinitely abundant universe where everything is all one, a really effective way to feel separate and to feel like you're doing your own thing is to experience lack and limitation in regards to prosperity. Because that just hits you right where it hurts. Just, nah, nobody's going to miss that, right? So, our egos and particularly our shadows get a real kick out of feeling separate, cut off, not enough, all that. And a lot of people, and maybe you right now, are feeling the very common desire to kill your ego. You know, there's a whole kill your ego culture. Ego, die, and you're sabotaging me from getting what I want. But we need to be careful and compassionate with ourselves. This kind of thinking can lead you away from the kind of self-acceptance and self-love you need to actually remember your connection and the truth of prosperity. We cannot make a return to infinite love and abundance by trying to reject and remove parts of ourselves we believe to be outside of infinite love. There is nothing outside of infinite love. So these seemingly sabotaging parts of us are just a part of our story that we get to learn how to love. So what can we do? What practice can we have to get our egos to work with us instead of against us? By making the unconscious conscious, the game ends. You interrupt the unconscious patterning, you prevent your ego from sabotaging your conscious desires, and you enter a state of creative flow, uninterrupted by internal conflict within yourself. The state of creative flow is a state of grace. And grace is the living space where imagination comes into form, faith blooms into miracles. Grace is that quantum sanctuary where knowing can come to rest in our hearts and we know truth. It is through grace. Through grace, we find harmonious solutions. We find the space to love the unlovable. And in grace, we begin to trust life. So, how do we do this? How do we make the unconscious conscious and build trust in ourselves? How do we trust God and life? How do we begin to live in this grace that maybe we don't think we've ever experienced? There are so many wonderful tools and techniques for doing shadow work and ego integration work, and I am all up in that toolbox. I love it. We can chat sometime about all the different ways that we can do this work. But today, I want to share with you the most fun and easy and natural way to begin this work, and that is through creative practice. Please know I'm not asking you to become an artist. You do not need to become an artist or to be crafty to dial into your creativity. It's the process that's the point. If you create an art piece or a craft in the process of tapping into your creativity, then awesome, great. But the process of opening to your creativity, to your imagination, and letting that come through you, that's what builds the trust in your connectivity to infinite source because you have a direct experience of it. We're all creative. Even if you say you don't have a creative bone in your whole body, which is my least favorite cliche, you are creative. Your every thought is a creation. Your body is a creation. Creative imagination is holy fire from God. It's the power and the process by which everything imagined comes into form. So yeah, you're creative. When we intentionally dive into creativity as a spiritual practice, it can help us develop that trust in the infinite abundance. Practicing creativity helps us live and move in that state of grace where all those good things just come sliding in. And I experienced a state of grace in the midst of a very deep despair that I was going through a number of years ago. I had just experienced a really painful breakup, And it wasn't really about the guy or the break. I've been through breakups before. I know how to do that. But it was about the fact that I had thought that my intuition told me this person was the person that I was going to marry and live happily ever after with. And that turned out not to be the case. Clearly, that didn't happen. And so I felt not only that I had this breakup, but I couldn't trust myself. I didn't trust my connection to source. I didn't trust my intuition. I just felt like I was alone in the dark with no flashlight. And I slipped into a really bad place. And there was one day I was just sitting on my couch in this bad place, and all the self help books in my library weren't appealing to me. There was nobody that I could call. I couldn't even sing, I couldn't even use my voice to help lift myself out of it. I was just stuck. And so I'm sitting there in despair. I look over to the next room and I see my flute case just sitting there on the floor. And it was an old flute that I'd had since high school. I hadn't touched that thing in forever and didn't have any interest in touching it. And in that moment, it just called to me. It was like it was magnetizing me to get up and take it out and play. So I did. I said, fine. I didn't have any sheet music. I didn't have anything memorized that I could play. I just opened myself, and whatever sounds came through, that's what I played. And I played and I played, and my heart started to open. I started to feel lighter. The despair just drifted away like a cloud blowing away in the wind. I played until my fingers hurt. I mean, I don't know how long it was, but it was a long time. And when I was finished, I remembered my connection. I remembered that I am connected to God, to infinite source. That of course I can channel it. I'm doing it right now with this flute in my hands. There can be no question when you have an embodied, felt experience of the infinite coming through you, nobody can tell you that you're not or that you're disconnected because you know it, and you know it through practice and experience. And I believe that night I experienced a mini miracle. I was able to lift myself out of a very bad place just using creativity and sound. So when we choose to use our imagination and create, we tap into infinite mind that we always have access to. Your waking mind kind of gets out of the way. Mine was addled by despair. And then there's a feeling like the ideas flow through you rather than being generated from within your mind. The mind becomes the portal through which creative energy can flow. We surrender. We say, use me, like that song we all love. So creative practice, very real and tangible way to feel that holy energy come through you, live you, breathe you. And you can build that skill and use it to increase your abundance in love or money or whatever it is that you feel you lack. So, if you don't play the flute or an instrument or you don't feel crafty, what can you do to engage with your imagination? I'll give you a few. But there's really an infinite number. You can dress in a creative costume or outfit. You can do free writing, where you just sit down and you write whatever comes into your head. No judgment, no editing, no nothing, even if it's blah, 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 or syntax. You can write hypersigils, which are an incredibly effective manifestation tool where you write out the story of you getting what you want as if you're putting a gratitude journal entry in that day. You can act out funny stories with kids. Kids are always game for tapping into imagination. You can make up a stupid song and sing it to your cat. I do that every day. I don't know if she likes it or not, but she gets it. You can color, you can paint, whatever it is. Take a new way home from work that you don't normally drive. If you're feeling really linear and logical and you just don't feel like an imaginative person, the place where you normally drive, take another route. Don't plan it. Just start driving. You're engaging with your creativity anytime you're busting out of ingrained habits and patterns and being open to that creative guidance. So, if you're unfamiliar, how do you know what this feels like? How do you know if you're tapped into your creativity? Well, I talked to a few community members because I know how it feels for me, but what's going on with you? And one person shared with me that creativity, when it comes in, feels like this inner tickle in her heart space, her head, and even her womb. And then she gets curious about what that sensation could mean and follows that, and then the creative process is starting. Another person shared that creative ideas just come falling in when her mind is busy doing something mundane, the mind's kind of out of the way with a toy, and the creative energy comes through. For me, I have a physically tangible sense of presence just waiting in the outer layers of my energy field. I can feel it like a being. And when I choose the time to kind of download that, it feels like a luminous expansion that starts in my pineal gland right in the center of my brain and goes right out through the rest of my whole field. If it's a really good one, I'll get goosebumps all over, and even a rush of energy that goes from crown to root or root to crown. So it can be very physical. For some people, it could just be a quiet thought that drops into your mind when you're just not expecting it and it's effortless. It could really feel like anything. So those are some good places to start. Now, those are some of the things that I invite you to experiment with this week, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't play right now. Let's have a creativity exercise right now. I'll play some music in the background because that'll help facilitate the process. And then whatever you've got around, if it's pen and paper, maybe do some free writing or some scribbling or doodling. You could use your body in creative ways to move in creative ways. And I welcome you. If you'd like to share your creative process, please turn your video on so I can see what everyone is choosing to do and how it's looking and following that stream. Or you could even use your voice in interesting ways. So I'm going to start the music, and we'll just have 2 minutes. So, you got to get in there and don't think. No thinking. Just start moving. Start making sounds. Use your hand in a way that you don't usually use your hand. Let it be a bird or some other creature we don't know yet. I see people moving and swirling. Oh, that's awesome. If you're writing, let the words come no matter what they are. No crossing out, no editing. Let them flow onto the page like a river. Rivers don't think about flowing, they just surrender. I'm seeing lots of writing. I'm seeing guitar playing. Now, ask Spirit to come through you. I am here. I am here. I am open. Use me. Pour through me. Let's create. Let's play. What do you have to say through me? Just have a few more seconds, just getting it in, enjoying. Send some appreciation to yourself, to Source, for this connection. Ah, thank you. Beautiful. Love seeing all of these different creations. I bet you that's kind of how God feels sometimes, watching all of us doing our things. So, in this play, in this practice we can do, when you have that direct felt experience of being a channel for creative energy, maybe for a little longer than 2 minutes next time so you can really get into it, you can't not believe in your access to and connection with infinite Source because you've had a direct experience of it. It's not up for debate anymore. You know it as truth rather than just holding a belief in your head. So I invite you this week, practice opening your channel. Practice entering that state of grace through creative play. And the more you practice, the more effortless and smooth and enjoyable it becomes. And I also invite you to permit all your feelings while doing these exercises. This radical self-approval we can give ourselves during this process spills over into the rest of our lives. It allows you to be more open to what comes through. And a really cool benefit, side benefit to this creative practice is that creativity helps you shine the light on all of the unconscious sabotaging patterns that you may be holding that's keeping you in lack and separation. You may notice during creative play where you have this thought where, I can't do this, I'll never be good enough, I won't be able to do anything. And that concept, where is that spilling out into the rest of your life? What other areas of your life do you think that you're not good enough? During creative play, you're like, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not connected to that. Only other people are special like that. Where else in your life is that lie that you're not connected and you don't have that connection and you're not special? Where is that spilling over? How can you make the unconscious conscious? The creative process is a microcosm of our life process. And the more we practice and engage, the easier it'll get to recognize ourselves and to move forward. So I invite you, take some time this week, set some aside for creative play. Use it to remember your connection to source, to infinite prosperity. True imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is holy fire from heaven. And please don't be afraid to burn. Now let's take that into prayer. Right here, right now, in this precious moment, all that we have, all that we share is right here. Knowing that we are all inextricably interconnected and living as one within the one life, the one mind of God, I call now into being each channel, each person, an open conduit for source energy, an open conduit for the creative play of God as a human being. Each one of us I see now opening in the most perfect, easy, and graceful way to all of the beautiful and inspired creations that wish to come through our channel to be made manifest here on this earth through us. And because I know that every single one of us is connected as one through the mind of God, I know that this already is. And knowing that it already is, I release these words into the law, knowing they are already manifest, and we simply sit back and wait and enjoy watching the process of unfoldment, like a flower opening in the sun. And with great gratitude, I release these words into the law, and please stay with me, and so it is.
And so it is. Just set your intentions, make them part of your plan. Do what you must to make it your reality, because you know that you can. Don't need nobody's permission, nobody needs to approve. Nobody's paying attention. They got their own mountains to move. You don't have to do it all at one time. No need to bite off more than you can chew. Keep moving forward one step at a time. No telling what you can do. If you just set your intentions in the morning when you rise, keep them right there in front of you. They will materialize. Well, if you're not satisfied with all of your life, no need for you to cast blame. You've got the power within you to change. Your good is waiting to claim. First start out with a good foundation like the class. Build on it up to the top. Add layers to it like a tapestry. Don't give up, don't ever stop. If you just set your intentions, make them part of your plan. Do what you must to make it your reality, because you know that you can. Just set your intentions in the morning when you rise. Keep them right there in front of you. They will materialize. Just set your intentions. Set your intentions. Just set your intentions. Set your intentions. Just set your intentions. And do the best that you can. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was perfect. Set your intention. Oh my goodness. What a fantastic message today. And the music was right in alignment. And I just am so grateful. I'm just feeling so blessed right now. Thank you, Ralph. Oh, so let's take a moment and thank Carisa Holmes for her very inspiring and uplifting talk today about the creativity and that fun creativity, a way to open up and allow spirit to move through us. Thank you, Carisa. There were lots of very sweet comments on YouTube, lots of sweet comments here in the chat. And I see lots of other very sweet comments coming about Ralph's music. You guys were just a fantastic duo today, at least for me. Thank you. And also thanks to Janelle, our practitioner, for setting us up for success this morning, for her beautiful meditation. And thank you, Julie Matheson, for being the practitioner of the day today and your beautiful prayer. And we've got one more prayer to go. Thanks, Tony Bonardi, for the reading, for doing our Laity reading today, and for playing the piano for us. And thank you, Ralph Leesburg, with that perfect music that was aligned with the talk. And also thanks for Carisa. She's our song leader, and we appreciate that very much. Thanks, Tony Bonardi, for playing the piano for us. Thanks, Joe Nelson, for being on the drums. And Steve Parakis is on bass. And thanks to all of the musicians and all of the people that have collaborated their musical talents to provide the music for us today. And we are so glad that you are here for our Sunday celebration, for our Sunday service today. It really is an honor to be part of this community and part of this teaching. And if you are new to us, and if you're new, a first-time visitor today joining us on Zoom, or if you're watching our recorded service on YouTube, or if you could be on YouTube live with us this morning, if you're here for the first time and you're interested in more information, we would love to give you some information about who we are. We'd love to connect with you. So please contact our office. You can find the website, Columbus CSL. Oh, what is it? You can Google Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. You can send us in a private Facebook message. You can call the office. There are lots of different ways that you can get more information about who we are. So we're glad you're here. Now, excuse me, sorry about that. So now is the time for the giving of our gifts. There are many ways that you can give to the center. So please say our affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
If you would be so kind, may I have just a sprinkle of sugar? If you would be so kind, may I have just a sip of your tea? such a tiny piece of the pie. More than a trickle or a splash or a dribble, not just a drip or a drop. I want my blessings to flow like a river, waterfalls that never stop. Who in the world do we think that we are? We shoot for the moon when we're made from the stars that fall. I want it all. If what you want is the sweetest of love songs, why settle just for a riff? And if what you long for is a garden of roses, why only ask for a whiff? Now who in the world do we think that we are? We shoot for the moon when we're made from the stars that fall. I want it all. More than a dab or a pinch or a smidgen, here now I make my request. This infinite world is laid out before me. Why would I settle for less? How can I think my supply will deplete when the moon moves the oceans to fall at my feet? Oh, I want it all.
I know there is only one spirit. I know that it is creative, and I know it now more than ever. Thank you, Carissa. There's one creative spirit. It is in me. It is in everyone. There are no more excuses about it. And it is not only abundant, but it is prosperous. And I can experience it to whatever degree I can let it in. And I am so grateful for all that I received today, from this talk, from the music. I'm grateful for all of your gifts that you're giving to support our center. I'm grateful for all that we learned today, that we are moving from the information age into the transformational age. I'm so excited about that. I love that. I love that. And I love that I can make up a song and sing it to a cat. I don't have a cat, but I'm going to sing it to Tango next door, our neighbor's cat. And I'm just so grateful for all of you. You are abundance. You are our example of that. And for all these gifts, I'm so grateful, and I release this into the divine law of giving and receiving. And please sing with us.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Thank you, Carissa. So the order of service, I took some creativity in the order of service just there. Thank you, Carissa. I opened up and I had no idea that I was going to change up the order of service, but the divine did. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Carissa, for being here today. Thank you to Ralph and to Tony and to Janelle and to Julie. Thank you all for making this a very creative and fun and uplifting and empowering service this morning. I'd like to encourage you all, because this is the first time we've had a lot of people on Zoom in a long time. I'd like to encourage you all, after service today to stick around. Stick around, unmute your mic, and turn your videos on, and we will have some fellowship after service today. And I would also love to see what kind of creativity you all did during those 2 minutes of creative fun. So I encourage you all to stick around today and have some fellowship. Thank you for being with us today. So please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.
All right, a little more creativity. Turn your video on right now. Let's see you dancing to our closing song.
You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. Though you may walk in the wilderness, there ain't no need to be afraid, no, no. You are a star of the brightest kind, the most high. Oh, you and me, we got luminosity. We are nothing if not hotter than the sun. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. And deep in the moonless night, when you cannot see the sun, may you be the one to carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine.
Peace, blessings. Have a creative week.